Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rev in the house. The D-Man, AZ. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all the gang here. Cosmic, Ghost Shura is back. Getting through the long weekend. Jorn, Prison Planet Commerce. I like that. We're going to talk about the big business of divorce today. The big business that keeps those judges and those lawyers and those paralegals in business. And where do they get the money? Yeah, that's right, folks. From the man. From the man, the extraction from the man. And who suffers? The kids. Kids suffer. The man that has to try to live a life of dignity while he's trying to pay for someone that's not happy. Big money in divorce courts. You know, the average, apparently in Utah, the average hourly for a lawyer is $250, and that's on a low scale. Mine wasn't even close to that, but I got the best lawyer. Cosmic says divorce is not only a billion-dollar business, but also for funeral parlors. Men are checking out. No, absolutely. That's what we look at the court costs. We look at what it costs to defend oneself, but you don't take into consideration all of the impacts and the post-divorce, all the money that you lost going to court, all the stress, the mental anguish that you probably have to go and get medical care. A lot of folks do, medications, doctor's appointments. You've got to deal with all sorts of issues that affect. So that's one piece, that legal system, those dollar amounts that one pays. And those lawyers and those judges, it's all a big boys club. I saw it firsthand. That's why I got the best attorney. He knew everybody. He knew the judges, the commissioners. You have to do that to win your case. There is no such thing as fairness in family courts. If you're a good man, you need a bulldog of a lawyer. That is why we tell folks on our channels, multiple channels, do not get married. Do not cohabitate. Be very careful where you put your lower extremities. And for hell's sake, don't have kids. Not the fact that we don't love kids. The reality of kids in 2022 is against the father. AZ says, because we want to keep our meat, money, attention, time, and energy. Well said, AZ. Young Peasy back. Good to see Young Peasy. I save more money by opting out of marriage and LTRs. Go Shura for the win. No fault divorce equals no value to marriage. Guys, a marriage license costs $40. An average divorce costs $40,000. We employ a court system that is not even structured in the Constitution. There is no such thing as a family court. There is a civil and a criminal court, and there's no standing. This is the funny that it's like traffic court. There is no standing. It's not constitutional, even a traffic court. Think about it. If you think a good divorce lawyer is expensive, see what a cheap one will cost you. Well said, Stephen. Mine was $500 an hour, but dude was base, saved me tons, laid it on the table, and was a savage worth every month. Good for you, brother. That's exactly the kind of lawyer that I got that was extremely expensive, but worth every penny. You get a shitty lawyer, you're going to triple those costs again, whether that's double alimony, double child support. You have to get a big, bad bulldog attorney that knows everybody. Let's see. Cosmic says, we recently lost a brother to deletion, celebrity who was one of the Power Rangers. Yes. I did see that, you know, and that happens, guys. When they feel like they lose it, they're going to lose everything. They lose it. These channels everyone has a story. Everyone needs to be posting. You never know who's going to show up and be saved. The movie Marriage Story went with the elder guy lawyer, then went with the Ray Liotta. Yep, that was I did a review on that movie. Can you take me out with the bong hit? Where Bookkeeper? Tom Likas, back in the day. Benjamin Stark is back. Where Bookkeeper? Where's Where Bookkeeper? Benjamin's here. Slam Cave, good to see Slam. Check out Slam's channel, guys. We're trying to push Slam's channel. He's posting a lot of stuff about his experiences. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Canadas. Good to see Happy Canadas. Jordan says the most expensive painting ever sold in history, $450 million for Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundo, was because of a divorce by a Russian billionaire. He didn't want to sell it. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Ghost Lachlan. R.I.P. our brother, the Green Ranger. YYJJ, White versus Green Ranger. Good to see you. Men's Daily Advice. Good to see Men's Daily. Check out his channel as well. He puts out some good content as well. Divorce lawyers will ask for payment up front like prosties. Go figure. The only reason to get married for kids. Females are not worthy of being mothers, says John Markell from Brooklyn. They choose to be single mothers. They're not forced to. Marriage ain't about love. Marriage is about acquisition, folks, and it's not the extremities underneath your belt that they're seeking. They're seeking what becomes of that. The seed and the substances of materials. Ninja's in the house. Ninja Wolfman, good to see you. Good guy there. Baby mama isn't respecting my visitation schedule. They don't respect any decrees. I'm going to tell you that subliminal vibrations. And using our daughter to manipulate my emotions in my life, I will not stand for it until we go back to court. Any suggestions? Be quite silent. Stand and be as strong as possible. Women believe that they are not subjected to a decree or any laws. Trust me, I've been through it. You just have to sit back. He said, these are the things I can't change. These are the things I can't fight. These are the things I can fight, but will cost you money. Do you want this done fast or do you want a slugfest? So a lot of them say, I went 29 months, folks. I remember my theme. You do not get rewarded breaking up a family. Lycus is just as relevant now as ever, says Benjamin Starks. Well said. Spike is in the place to be. We got our FJT, our Giga Chat. I bet someone is going to come on here with the usual NPC response. You didn't choose the right one. You didn't vet them properly. You didn't hold frame. Man up. The fault was you. That's another simp. Good to see FJT. And by the way, FJT just had a great video. He has paid off his house. I don't even think he's 30 yet. That's a minimalistic, powerful man right there, living the life. Good for you, brother. Matthew says, had Thanksgiving with older side of the family last night, and it's wild how casually women talk about their last husband as if it was nothing. Women don't, 98% of women are not recommended. When these divorce lawyers see dumb men getting married to these 304s, they're running their hands saying, new clients. Absolutely. I think Jonathan Noble had mentioned that. Prison Planet Commerce, I knew you would like that before you mentioned it. It is the prison planet. What's funny is there's no standing of a family or a civil or a traffic court in the United States Constitution. Go read it. One of my female friends got divorced. It took her 5 months. My other male friend's fiance is just after 11 years because she claims the first set of lawyers were not good. Of course, if it doesn't go their way, everything was wrong. Mysterio from Winnipeg is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Another OG of the channel. I feel like society constantly wants men to marry and put us down for not doing it. They make us feel like we're defective. If we aren't married or in a committed relationship, it's effed up. The Fresh Prince of Nigeria. Well, I think a lot of programming has been implanted in a lot of men's brains. But when you realize the freedom is more valuable than the frustration, freedom over fleecing any day. Ben Starks, I've been incorporating nuts and seeds in my diet to have protein and other essential nutrients. Well said, brother. Health is key. That is the ultimate wealth. I'm drinking some mineral water here. Very good. Fasting because I ate a lot yesterday. You can see my face is all salted out. It's a lot of sodium, but it's Thanksgiving. You need documentation. Well said, Stephen. So let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. Lived behind us in the marital house, very wealthy man. What happened is she was not following the visitation schedule. He filed a motion with the court. He had a lot of records he would always call the police to show up and document it. The police can't do anything when they show up, guys. They can't extract kids. They're not in the business of extracting. You just note it. You have a record. Hey, I showed up. This is my day at 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. She's not allowing them to come out. So after several attempts, I don't know, it was 8 or 9 attempts, he took her to court. She was thrown in jail for 3 days. The judge said, if you do it again, I'm going to put you in jail for 6 months. If you do it a third time, I'm going to put you in for 5 years. She learned very quickly after 72 hours in an orange jumpsuit that she should follow the court visitation. Now, does that happen all the time? No. That is extremely rare that that judge did that. Typically, they'll just slap him on the hand and the woman will continue that behavior with the mother with the kids. Happens all the time. So you could also file a motion. Other than a WALT, which they are, my argument to choose better, it's not at all. Women will divorce blank a man. It's that they can remove the laws and maybe choose again. They can, yeah. I mean, they have, that's what they do. You're not going to stop that. Paid off his house 26 years early. I worked so hard for this. This is my number one goal. And he did it in 4 years. Dang. Remember, I paid off my house in Oregon. It was a wonderful feeling. If you can save one person, then it is worth the fight. Tell a lost soul that they're not alone and the programming lies to you. Slam Cave, well said. Check out Slam's channel. Check out FJT's channel. Go Shura's. Who else we got in here? I know I'm missing a couple. But good content creators in our forum. We help others. This is why we do it. We don't charge money. We help others so you don't have to go through what I did. Mysterio says vetting and frame is a fantasy. Baseline is reality. Can you live a woman's baseline? Baseline to me is she is like 24/7. At best, 3 years with that woman, no co-marriage, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, absolutely. You got to vet, but that doesn't guarantee everything. Let's see. Jerome Markell from Brooklyn a marriage never says anything about being happy. Most males just don't want to look undesirable in society's eyes, and females just need him to clean up her mess. Stay single and buy Bitcoin. Well said, Jerome Markell. Her real marriage is with her social media accounts. Social media accounts for 300 Trebek. She'll divorce you once someone better shows up. And it's not, this is just female nature. This is what happens. You have to accept it. What I think is next for Brady? A younger gal. I really hope he doesn't get married, though. Most women just completely go crazy after having kid. pH, well, it's all that estrogen running through their veins and all of the hormones up and down. There is a lot of truth behind that. The physical changes, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, with women and mothers. I saw it with mine. They become mothers, and you're not last. You don't exist on their list. Is it better to pay for the house in full or do a payment plan? Depends if you want to be cash rich or house poor, or house rich and cash poor. Why is there tax breaks for married people and not for single people? Well, there is a bachelor tax, Mysterio. It's called a single exemption. Now, in our tax laws, a single man can, I think, gets $14,000 exempt. A married couple gets $24,000, I believe. A head of household gets $18,000 or $19,000, of which I am a head of household. It's crazy. Carl's back. Crazy even how a movie like Divorce Corp is dismissed by most women today as, but I'm not like that. I'm not that type of person. They literally can't see anything other than themselves. Accountability for 300 Trebek. Timmy Kramer back. Told everybody about your channel. He is freshly disposed of. Thanks, Timmy. Timmy out doing his thing right now. He's probably playing golf or making something. Women are only as loyal as their options. Hence, we never gave them wide open options. It's female nature. Accept it, right? We have to accept this. When I signed my deed papers, I told my lawyer, if I ever get married again, I'll have an airtight prenup. Best advice, never get married. It's funny you said that. I asked my lawyer about that. Why do women do it? And he said, why do women divorce good men? Because they want to be equal. How big was your wedding party when you were married? Just me and my brothers and her brothers. Very, very chill. Prices have to fall. I'd buy it in cash. Well, it depends. If you have the cash to buy a house, great. Again, cash rich or house poor, or house rich and cash poor. You got to decide which is more important. Inflation is a thing. Finance at no to low rates whenever you can with big purchases. Well said. I hope the laws will change to make it fair for men, but as I always say, even if the laws change, I personally still will never go back. People get mad when I say this. They just have to stay mad. FJT, 100%, brother. Ghost Lachlan, AWOL. I don't know anyone who's married over 10 years and is happy. Very few. It's programming. Bitcoin's going down a little. I think it's going to drop to about $8,000. Polska Bob is back. Good to see Polska. No waffling. Check out Polska's channel as well. Hypergamy floats. Late great Paul Proteus. Oh, he was great. Men always get the last laugh when she goes back on the CC and quickly realizes her real value. Doesn't look good for him on the CC, does it? All females don't care about men. I don't care where she's from, Thailand, Argentina. Well, if FJT mentioned something, you mentioned something here, and everybody else. Here's the deal. Forget the laws. Laws do not trump female nature. Female nature trumps everything. Male nature, female nature. We're not saying we're navigating life by understanding that women change their opinions a lot. Women are always seeking a bigger, better option. In all walks of life, celebrities, athletes, rich men, poor men, they're always seeking to go up, not down. So laws aren't going to do shit. The only thing laws are going to do is protect if laws came out, it might help a man's pocketbooks and his ability to see his kids. That's it. Right? I would never, ever step foot again in a court to buy any sort of marriage license or what have you. Well said, Jerome Markel. Juan Galvez, good to see you. Ghost Lachlan says, it's best, CJA says it, the best of the few who even make it to the end, less than 5% are happy. I would agree with that statement. Michael Fulton back, Rad, what do you think the future of marriage will be in the West? Do you foresee a kind of brave new world where the concept of family become primitive? I think you're going to see probably little pockets, very religious pockets, typically Muslim, maybe hardcore Catholics, hardcore Jewish. Those are going to be the marriages. Other than that, it's a shit show. It's never getting better. Right now, programming is that everything's monetized. Good to see Michael Fulton. So just the idea of a relationship, 98%, 99% of all relationships are monetized. They're not going to work. There will be the simps who will continue with the simp army, but yeah, it is it is what it is. Excuse me. I had a small portion of Bitcoin, but sold it back in February. I'm not buying till it hits less than $8,000. I think it's going to hit that. I think we have not seen any sort of bottom with Bitcoin. It's not about the first laugh or the eighth. He who laughs last the best. Let's see. Men over about 10 years married always seem to have a look on their face like a neutered cat. Well, I see a lot of them that aren't happy, right? Shine Customs Travis says I existed more to her before we had 2 kids. Then it was all about how much I helped clean and cook and my wallet thickness. Make our life better or bye-bye. Yeah. At that point, you're a utility, right? You are a utility. Good to see Travis. The concept of love only benefits women, says Sultan. Love is a concoction of 3 chemicals, folks. Serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. And they wear off quick. Men have to change their views. Women in relationships are businesses. Are you willing to invest in the shady business with a bad track record? Well said. Courts view relationships as legal businesses. Yeah, absolutely. Divorce is a business breakup. That's all it is. You're breaking up assets, and assets, our kids are part of that. Money. Whenever a company goes bankrupt, they have a sale, right? A bankruptcy sale. They want to sell everything and then split it or give it back to the creditors. That's what happens in marriage. There will be another crash. I'm still holding on to my 300 plus tokens and coin. The next bull run will be epic. Sit on the sidelines. Listen to everybody that's saying, don't go out and buy stupid shit. Just pile cash. Timmy says, 38 years as a realtor, I smell a shitstorm a-coming. Do not buy expensive shit. Let the idiots do that. And then when they can't afford it and have to sell at a fire sale, you come in and make a ton of dough. Harshit is back from Punjab. Good to see you. Channel 1800. Channel 1800 down for 300 at Trebek. There you go, brother. Hello, Rebel. Currently on a good relationship with a good woman. I feel happy. Pretty rare nowadays. Most women are 304s in the West. 2 to 3% of women are worthy, says Elaine. I would agree. I'm not anti-relationship. I just say 98% is not worth it. 1 to 2%, you still have to understand female nature. You still don't get married. You still don't cohabitate, and you still don't have kids. And if there's nothing she can extract, great, and vice versa. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're doing well. Jonathan Noble called it the divorce machine. Stay out of it. Well said, Slam. Divorce quicksand. It's wealth transfer from men to women. No two sides of the same coin. It is a wealth transfer. If you think about it, the billion-dollar industry of divorce. I had a buddy in college who got married very early. His wife quickly isolated him from all his single friends. I only realized how common this is. I figured you'd like that, Channel 1800. Polska Bob says, at Fresh Prince, you ever get rid of those millions you're sitting on? Punjabi females are attractive. I think some Indian women are very attractive. I agree. As someone who was once religious, the only people I noticed and committed are devout Roman. Yeah, they're hardcores, right? Even the men are miserable. Be Free Asia is back. Do you ever drive around out west in other states? I do. Driving to Vegas is about 5.5 hours. That's fun. You go through southern Utah and then Arizona and then Nevada. Good stuff. Good head clearing. If you got someone to go with, even cool. Brad, I should open a Rumble account. They deleted the French Andrew Tate 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's just a big joke. The multi-billion-dollar. You guys know that we talked about the cost of attorneys, the cost of legally everything, right? We're literally paying the salaries and the retirements of the judges, the paralegals, you name it. Is a huge business. $500 an hour plus for a top-notch attorney, and you're looking at California, $800, $900 an hour, and you better find a good attorney. I think the average. I got a buddy, a dipshit, who kept looking for crappy attorneys and paying them cheap wages, and he got the worst representation. You have to buy a Lamborghini if you're in a race. If you're going to race autos, you need a Lamborghini. You can't race a Honda, and that's what a lot of guys do. They go and buy a Honda to win a race against a Ferrari. You need a Lamborghini. If you're in an airplane and they tell you at 123,000 feet in the air that your parachute has a 5% chance of opening, would you jump? That's how marriage is. Well said, Jerome Markel. We need a meetup. Yes, we do, brother. Bought my home in 2018 with 50% down, refinanced at 2.65. Good for you. Now I've paid out that half in 2 years. Yeah, I mean, you're probably under 1,000. That's true. You can't even get a 1-bedroom. I mean, homes in parts of Mexico, apartments some of them are $750. So if you can literally stack money, live below your means, pay stuff off, buy quality cars, buy quality furniture, quality shoes, quality dress shirts, quality jeans, that'll last. Right? You get what you pay for. And typically, that's what happens. You get what you pay for. That's why there's premium brands, and that's why there's budget brands. Shine Custom says, how was your Thanksgiving? I did the turkey. I did it all. Handmade mashed potatoes. I make great mashed potatoes. Stuffing, cranberry sauce. I did grilled Brussels sprouts with olive oil and Himalayan salt on that with some green beans. It was good. Great rolls, pies, homemade pies were brought. Good stuff. And my boys, my daughter was sick. She couldn't come, but my 2 boys were there with me. So I had a girl who had BPD and wanted to get married to me and had no feelings for me. I was just utility. Well, you were just something that she saw, she needed you for attention. It's as simple as that, guys. Most women are in relationships or text you back so they can say they can receive attention. Remember, a woman's currency is validation and attention. If you do not give her that, she seeks it. If you give her it every day, she doesn't seek it. It's psychology. But typically, a lot of women today, Harshit Sander, have BPD. Rad is speaking facts, and guys out there would say, oh, not my girl. She never do that to me. And some of these guys are young, guys that get it, like FJT, the younger cats that really understand this. And then there's older guys that have been through divorce, have been through custody situation, been through, the division of getting kicked out of their house. And we're telling you, don't do it. You could still have a good life. Luckily, I got divorced, 43? I barely missed that gray divorce. And I was able in sales to build a lot of what I lost up. So when you go through and you spend the money for representation, legal, the lost wages, the lost issues, that's one part of the divorce. Then you have all the other pieces, the splitting of the money, the splitting of the equity. And you have to build it back, right? So there's costs there. It costs you more to insure. You don't have multi-drivers on an insurance policy. It costs more money in a lot of different ways. But you can also live a minimalistic life that you don't need all of those expenses that you had when you were married. So it kind of evens itself out. It's ridiculous how much money is in the system. And when men start realizing how much money, emotional wealth they can save, mental wealth, by not dealing with that ever again. That's why we tell these guys, don't do it. And if you are in a relationship, make sure that she brings what, she doesn't need your money, she doesn't need your attention, but when you get together once or twice a week, it's cool. Jonathan Noble has a great outlook on that. And no marriage, no cohabitation, and no kids. My favorite saying about post-wall or high mileage women is no one wants a 300,000 mile banged up Ferrari with multiple owners. No one wants a Ferrari with bumper stickers either. When I become a billionaire, you damn right, I will buy something nice. There's nothing wrong with nice things, man. Nothing wrong, Jerron. She would never do that to me. Yeah. I got to know my ex-wife the day she filed for divorce. I didn't know who she was before that. I was a dum-dum. Would you say that Jonathan Noble is a bulldog attorney? I think he's quite good at what he does. And I think he knows exactly how to help his clients win their cases. Ignore them. You want your power back. Never give up your peace, quiet, and freedom. Sex is overvalued, Slam Kid. You get to the point in your life, especially at my age, and you just realize you've been through a lot. You've had the kids. You've had experience. And now today, that really I seek is experiences. I like traveling to countries, as everybody knows. I've done South and Central American videos. I love going there and speaking Spanish and being around those places. I also love riding mountain bikes. I like to hike. I like to ride my board. I like to play guitar. I'm seeking things today. And what I seek is time, right? Time is all I got. Why doesn't each party require independent legal representation going into marriage when it requires getting out? Good question. Because they want to make it seem like if you get that marriage license, your marriage is going to be great. The barrier to entry, they want it as low as possible so that you can become the fodder of the divorce system. You told your dad you paid the house off. He was shocked. He said, whoa. I had 3 hours in my life and I was never able to pay any of them off. Good for you, man. That's an outstanding accomplishment, FJT. Rad, what's the update at ETI on expiring next year, my man? Got to get my last one launched. Probably in the fall. The channel 1800 done, the mask slips, rad. Ain't that the truth? She has the 1,000 stare, such wisdom in those simple words. You see those gals that have had a lot of experiences with men? There's an emptiness. Emptiness. My divorce taught me very quickly there isn't much sacramental about marriage. After forking the huge retainer, I discovered what marriage really is, a contract. And divorce is simply a lawsuit. Michael Fulton. Ooh, wise words there. There's always somebody in every chat that we do that just hits impactful, if not more, comments that are so impactful. You really think about it. It's a contract. Divorce is a lawsuit. When she says, I'm about to go to bed, she's texting another guy, get over here. You're not alone. 98% of women are not recommended. Men entering marriage is exactly like cannon fodder. You are basically inventory for the family court system, which has no standing in the Constitution. A woman says they want a baby, that's exactly what they want. Once they get old enough to start talking back, she doesn't want that baby anymore. Correct. Oh, that's what 3 houses. I kind of thought that's what you meant, brother. There's an emptiness, crazy eyes. Yes, you can see behind it. When they discard you, brother, you see the true faith. It's ugly and smiling. 18 years in hell for me. I was married. Well, we filed for divorce at 18 or 19 years, and then it went another 29 months. So technically I was married for over 20 years. 21. Yeah, 21. MGTOW Outlaw. Good to see you, brother. Check out MGTOW Outlaw's channel. We only seem to get a fair deal as men in divorce court if we hire the most expensive lawyers and fight. Shouldn't fairness be by default? You know what's interesting? You say that, PH. How about the guys that have to pay for their wife who filed for divorce, their legal expenses? I never understood that. You burn down your own house and I got to pay for you to rebuild it? Nah. No. A day of loneliness beats a day of madness. Well said, Spike. I laugh when guys say they found the perfect unicorn when they've been together for a couple of years. I think to myself, the night is still young. There's plenty of time for her. We have a male nature and they have a female nature. We're a lot more logical, level-headed. Now, men, there's a lot of effeminate women-type men. But for the most part, men, we want peace, quiet, and freedom. Women nature is very different. I grew up with 3 sisters, a mother, I was married, I have a daughter. Women are very, very emotional. Anything will set a woman off. You cannot deal with that. You cannot change that. Outlaw's a troll. That's funny. You guys are funny. Exactly. The objective of family and civil courts is just another unserious scheme, mostly set up and run by tiny hats doing tiny hat scheming. Funny you say that. There's a band called, maybe Polska knows this band, Tiny Hat Orchestra out of Seattle. They were kind of a ska band. Brad, do you think you could have vetted your ex? Yes. I remember. I look back and I go, man, her mom was exactly who she turned into. Her mom treated her dad like crap. But I always thought maybe the dad was, wasn't living up. And then I realized, no. Most of these women turn into their mothers. And the way she treated my mother-in-law, the father, I should have ran. Yep. When she divorces you, you have to pay for her lawyer for the most part. I didn't. And simple as that. Jay Lee, if anything, a marriage license should have to be renewed like any other every year. And if you want to avoid the contract, you can do it with no repercussion. Good to have you, Jay Lee. I would agree. I think that, it should be renewed, just like a driver's license every 2 years. Polska is trolling. Oh, no. Oh, I know. I'm thinking of a way to tune up my guitar. I've been playing some guitar this week, too. It's been great. Divorce court, tiny hats have set up a system that monetizes human biology. Ooh, well said. Genius right up until Mustache Man 2.0 enters the scene. Then it'll be nothing but crocodile and blame shifting. Accountability for 300, Trebek. Surf Shack 2. Tiny hats. I think that's funny. Good to see you, Surf Shack. Rebel, actually, I've never heard of that band. Tiny Hat Orchestra. They're kind of hard to find. I show this material to a young man at the gym, barbershops, and work. It's amazing how they still decide to walk right in the puddle. Ishi Banks in California. Good to have you, brother. Well said. Men have to create the date, do the asking, open doors, pay the tab. And the next night, she's with a date number 2. Well said. Wes is back. George Washington did not have a marriage contract. It's no coincidence that fact is left out in history class. Instead, we got some lie about a cherry tree. Good to see you, 5 Years of Freedom. Check out 5 Years of Freedom's channel. He's laying low right now, but he'll be back. Aldous Huxley predicted the collapse of the marriage institution quite well. In a few years, no doubt marriage licenses will be sold like dog licenses, good for 12 months. Elaine says, avoid women with daddy issues, extremely promiscuous and love people that don't love them. Yes, I've met a few of them in my post-divorce. When she's in a rush to get married and you're not, you're insecure and immature. Yes, they like to shame the man. I play both, but I like to play electric better. You was right about the tiny hats. Canadian brother turned me on to an interesting video about the USS Liberty and having been attacked by Israel in an attempt to sink it. I do not doubt those theories. Watch how her mother treats her father. It's a look into your future. Well said, PH. Well said. If I would have taken more consideration, but I was dumb at the time. Fishbone and Madness. Funk it up. You ain't got no alibi. I like Madness better than Fishbone. But that's me. But Fishbone's good too. Dating is prostitution. There's a transaction, definitely. I was dragged through the family civil courts in Maryland through the 2000s. Nothing but angry biatches. Dang right. Tiny hats at the top. There's another tiny hat. D-Man Fitty. Shout out to Wes's channel. Marriage is expensive. Night ladies are cheap as chips. Apparently, it's getting cheaper. Right? American Siren. Productions. And where are you from? You look new to me. What should I look for as red flags on this? Materialistic women. Women with baby daddy issues. Women with weird hair colors. Women who have multiple partners. Women who have friends that are men, predominantly. Women that use a lot of makeup. Women that are always on their phone. That's a telltale sign. If they're always on their phone, that's the number one red flag. Never bend your knee to a woman, you'll lose every time. D-Man Fitty. Hardship. Please listen to Joe Satriani, Made of Tears. I like Joe Satriani. I wouldn't be here if not for my kid's mom's downfall. Trying to date after divorce really sealed the deal of the red pill kind. Oh, isn't that the greatest thing? I tell guys, go. If you lose a wife or get divorced, everything that you've experienced, you'll see it in these gals that you go to dinner with. Even had a tiny hat family court counselor way up the system food chain laugh out loud at me when I stated what he was doing was unconstitutional. Of course, there's no constitutional standing. Definitely a good first question to ask a woman, how is your relationship with your parents? Yes. I like to say, tell me about your dad. Oh, he's an ass. Well, or I love my dad. Women that love their dad, for the most part, now I've met some that have been very promiscuous, respect their fathers, but that's very rare now. I work with 100+ nurses. Fellas, you can't win. The RNs are jealous of the travel nurse, and the travel nurse are jealous of steady life. Can't win. I was married to a nurse. I know that as well. In fact, I met a lot of her nurse friends. Libtard cucks. I'm not the stepfather. I'm the father that stepped up. Isn't there a shirt that someone's making fun of another content creator I saw? These are exact people that need to be on lampposts. My dad is most likely to get divorced. The third time, used to think my single lifestyle was strange. Now my lifestyle makes a lot of sense to him. Show the example, FJT. Hopefully dad will figure it out. On their phone, number one red flag. I would agree with that statement, channel. I'm still paying my ex's car insurance. She's 40, unreal, do it for the kids. Also living rent-free with her friend. Wow. Definitely not a go-getter, is she, Shine Customs. The tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants. She is thirsty. She will extract something. Remember the parasite and the host. A woman with tattoos is like a rattle on a snake or a red flags at a Soviet May Day parade. Stay away. You could tell a lot by their colors. Well said, Michael Fulton. Topics to explore for future. Divorce is unnatural and dating above 30 is unnatural. Yeah, I agree that. I should. Thanks, Mysterio. American Siren Production. You can see the Matrix. No one can tell you what it is. You must see it for yourself. The Matrix is Polska walking at night. You see him falling over and waffling. Polska falling over and waffling and eating a burger for 300 Trebek. I know you laugh at when you speak through the truth while they're stealing your money. So what do? You go monk. Well, I said the other day in a video, the way you play the game is to understand the game. Now, some people say the way to play and win the game is not play the game. Well, I agree with that statement too. But I think and that's really understanding the game. Once you understand the game, then whether you play it or don't play it, you still win because you understand it. Yep, they're spreading the Skittles agenda, says Jawara King. Good to see Jawara in schools. The Skittles agenda. If she takes pictures in foreign country and plates of food, she's a 304. Well said. Rad, I never dated outside my religion in the US and it's still not worth it. I'm getting my passport and going to Bangladesh forever for my dream of marriage and a big joint family with 6 kids until I retire. Jagging through, I can't blank USA. Well, you might have better luck over there, but you're still dealing with female nature. Be very careful who you and vet very carefully. Bob's on every stream, and he does his own. It should be a felony for a man to get in a relationship before 30. I tell my boys, if you want to get married, do it at 40. Hopefully you'll understand by then. What's your opinion on the future of the USA and Europe? The inflation, Elaine, I think we're going to continue to see high inflation, supply chain issues, a very odd, more restrictions, you name it. Did you see the study showing by 2030? Yes, they will be single. If you want to build a business, cater to that group of people. Block, ignore, ghost. Get out of the usury, says Ghost Lachlan. Jason Reed is back. Jason said, never understood when man goes to the divorce machine and still willing to slide in all his chips. I knew a guy that was on his 4th marriage. And he wanted to get married for the 5th time. He still believes in it. Simp. I wish you get to have a ton of samosas for doling out the truth. I'm a big fan, as you know, of Indian food, but I do like pakoras and I like butter chicken and palak paneer. Taking the red pill is the game shark to life. It sure is. In my culture, marriage is mandatory, or else you are not a man. I cannot let my lineage and blood die out. Well, just be careful, my brother. The nurses I've dated was very easy. Quick SEX on demand, one night stands, strap up tight, gentlemen. Even if you think your girl is not like that, you'll thank me later. Well said, FJT. Do it be very safe. Do it the Jonathan Noble way, says Jawara. Well said, man. I think he's onto something. I get great respect and attention from women by giving them zero power and completely indifferent to their opinions. It's counterintuitive in the marriage. Yes. Again, do everything opposite that you think you should do from a blue pill standpoint. All for freedom, but keep Skittles away from my boys to Slam Cave. I'm on the second that opinion. How long have you been playing guitar? I taught myself guitar when I was 19. Big shout out as well to LOM. Yes, he had 4 marriages and he was going to, I think he was getting divorced and he still believed in it. I think becoming a father at 20 is not good for a man. Anything close to 30 is better just for life. Yeah, you don't know much at 20. Now, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And a 21-year-old boy today, for the most part, the majority are like 12-year-olds based on how they grew up. Shout out to LOM's channel. Thank you, D-Man. Ishi Bank says, there's a huge construction site in front of my hospital. Hundreds of men. They're going for 2 years. These RNs would never. They look down at those men. Those men make more money. Yeah, well, they're not a doctor. Remember, nurses, get with doctors. Tom Likas had quite a few wives, Ghost. I can understand someone being young and inexperienced. Getting married once and trying, but second, third time, it's insane, says Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is our studio man that reminds us women have multiple options and 500 messages a day. Good to see Lone Wolf. Marnie says we should roll the dice. Attorney Noble says don't do it. Don't do it, guys. Nice work if you can get it. As the internet becomes accessible, even women in Bangladesh and third world countries will succumb to hypergamy. You are just a decade behind. And that's well said. A lot of these gals in other countries, we've talked about that. Yeah, Hi Rat, I caught Rebel Without a Cause the other day for the first time. Douglas Edwards, great movie. I know this is a little off topic. Hope you're doing good, man. Watch all 3 of his movies. He did 3: East of Eden, Giant, and Rebel Without a Cause. Remember that scene when he's on the stairs and he looks at his dad and he says, "Stand up to her," because the dad was a total wet noodle. I think the dad was probably more Skittles in that movie. 1954, that movie came out. Rebel Without a Cause. Do you think it's a great thing that feminists do not reproduce at replacement level and have high death rates? Nature taking care of business. Tough season will pick them. I think the survival of the fittest is what happens in that regards. Giganathan. When I got my guitar, I never realized how hard it was to play. The professionals make it look so easy. It's getting those muscles in your wrists and your hands, especially your fingers. Right here is where you play guitar, guys. This muscle right here. Those are all your chords. What if the simp stopped simping? That's never going to happen, but that would be a funny movie. Surf Shack 2. Doug Edwards. Good to see you. Well, guys, I'm going to cut it short today. It's been a great stream. She's been a girl named Tiffany who was a hairdresser. She says she's not like others. I have a bad feeling. I will second that, and I have not met her. Marriage counseling is a trap to make husband feel responsible for why wife mistreats or cheats on him. Never ever tell a woman your female problems. Never ever tell a female your problems, or a woman, right? Women are on default mode when young due to their youthful looks, not the content of their character. Yeah, the programming of today's modern women. The problem with marriage is it's one size only. Can you imagine just one size of clothes? Don't tell that to the fat acceptance movement. I said it once and I'll say it again. These women have too many options. Well said. Rad has been warning everyone about overseas, but nobody listens. In my Rad voice, you can't fix stupid. Can't fix stupid for 300 Trebek. FJT. Back in the early 90s, my roommate, after his divorce and being depressed, he went to the desert and blanked his... It happens. I've had 4 friends go out because of a woman. John Petrucci. Well said. Good one. Thanks, Rad. Stay single. Still catching all your great content. Chase excellence, masculinity, and men first. You guys have been great. Listen, go have a great weekend. Do something that makes you better. Rebel against defeat. Chase excellence, masculinity, men first.